Mayor, we're live.
Welcome to the January 13th, 2021 regular meeting of the Oakland Mayor and Council via Zoom. Roll call.
Mayor Schwager.
Here.
Councilman Bialy.
Here.
Councilman Knapp.
Here.
Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Here.
Councilman Talamini.
Here.
Councilman Van Eck.
Here.
Pursuant to the rules, we will dispense with the salute to the flag, though you can say it in your heart. And please, a moment of silence. Thank you. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced and submitted to the newspaper and advertised more than 48 hours in advance of the meeting, and notice posted in the municipal building and on the borough website, and following the rules as set forth in the state of New Jersey. And here is my first mayor's report for regular meetings in 2021. Originally, my first item was that I apologized to a group of people that we were meeting for a sewer meeting. And it was the borough administrator, the CFO, both Councilman Talamini and Bialy, and myself, and a few of the residents who are serviced by this 3 sewer service plants. At the last meeting in December, I must correct myself, I claimed that they were representatives of the group. And then I was told I should not be saying that. They are not representatives of the group. So I apologize to those residents who did attend, and I mistakenly said that they were representatives. However, I found out tonight, I did not have time to go on the internet, but I received a call about one of those residents who did attend our meetings sent us an email that they will no longer meet with us. So that's my announcement on that one. Tonight, appointments will be made for boards and commissions. And listen carefully, there are many, many volunteer positions that are vacant. If you are interested in a particular board or commission, contact myself, contact Lisa at our municipal building. You could go on the website and get and download a citizen leadership form, fill it out, or call me with any questions. On Monday, this past Monday, I attended an outdoor ribbon cutting at the Oakland Care Center, who has partners with Meals on Wheels in Oakland and Franklin Lakes. And they asked if anybody's interested in helping with Meals on Wheels. Please contact the Oakland Care Center. I met someone today who's a resident of Oakland. She was a resident of Wyckoff. She was participating and still continues to participate in Meals on Wheels from in Wyckoff, and they get their food at the Eastern Care Center. Well, the Oakland Care Center is now going to be helping those in need in Oakland and Franklin Lakes, and they could use some more drivers. This particular resident, Kathy, told me that. I said, well, do you go into anybody's house? Do you go into the Eastern Care Center, Eastern Christian Care Center? She said, no. They meet us in the lobby. They give us the package of food. We take it to the particular house, ring the doorbell and introduce ourselves, and then we give them the food. So if anybody has some spare time, and we would love to have you help Meals on Wheels for Oakland and Franklin Lakes. The food is provided by the Oakland Care Center, and the Oakland Care Center has become a very, very, very good neighbor to the borough of Oakland. And such as that the reminder, our senior center remains closed due to reported positive case. If you know of any senior citizen who is alone or needs food or needs anything, the senior center is closed, but the phones are working. But please let us know if you know of anybody who does need help. I met a woman today who said she had to spend Christmas all by herself. She couldn't go to her family. She had no way to go out. So it would be nice if you let us know if anybody does need help. Vaccinations. This is the big topic of the day. You all heard in New Jersey, the governor's announcement about being over 65, but with certain conditions to be eligible. But whatever your eligibility is, it is important to register on the state website and the county website to save your spot on the line so that when you are eligible, you have a spot. If you register, you go online, you register, it's free. The vaccine's free. But if you have insurance, they ask for your insurance information because then they can bill the insurance company, but it doesn't cost you anything to get the vaccine. You can get the link on our website, but if you have a pencil and paper now, it is covid19.nj.gov/vaccine. That is covid19.nj.gov/vaccine, sorry. But if you go on our website, it will give you the website sites, and then you just press on the link. If the borough website is www.oakland-nj.org. There's also a Bergen County website you could register. Go to the Bergen County website for that registration. If you are I've had this request, so I made some inquiries. If you are a retired healthcare worker, a professional with vaccination skills and would like to volunteer with the New Jersey Medical Reserve Corps to help administer the vaccines, there's also a website for you to volunteer. That is covid19.nj.gov/volunteer. I'll repeat that. covid19.nj.gov, that's GOV/volunteer. If you did not write it down or you couldn't hear me, go to the Borough website. Again, the link is on the Borough website. And throughout January, the county will continue testing. It's in collaboration with the Newbridge Medical Center. Testing continues at the Bergen Community College for antigen nasal swab rapid COVID-19 for Bergen County residents or those who are employees in Bergen County. The hours of testing, or the days I list, are from 9 to 2:30, but you must register and you must make an appointment. You can't just go. You have to have an appointment. The days of testing are Thursday, January 14th, tomorrow, Tuesday, January 19th, Thursday, January 21st, Saturday, January 23rd, Monday, January 25th, Wednesday, January 27th, and Thursday, January 28th. Again, on all those days, testing is free, but you must have an appointment. It's from 9 to 2:30, and all information about this and other information is on the Borough website. The number of positive cases continues to spike, which is why some of the places, such as our schools, had to close. Oakland now has a total of over 600 cases in accrual. That is from March. Although, don't be complacent, please, wear a mask, social distance, it's very important. Although I have discontinued to make my regular robocalls weekly, all updates, numbers, information can be found on the Borough website and the Borough Facebook page. And I will not stop making calls. I will make calls when and if there's an important event, changes, updates, or whatever vital information is very important to disperse. So at this time, it is 2021. We are going to adhere to the rules that we haven't been following in the past year. The rules for this year are for public comment, you will be timed. We have a timer. You will have a maximum of 3 minutes. Even it does say on the agenda that the session will not exceed 30 minutes. We will try to accommodate everybody because it is the first time we're doing this. But Michael, who is the Zoom operator, will be timing. You have 3 minutes to speak. It's public comment. It's not a time for debate. You can say whatever you feel like saying. You can focus your attention to a particular council person or myself or one of our professionals. That council person will get back to you either during his time when he gives his report later on in the meeting, or he will ask you to email him or call him. So with that, is there a motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're
Aye.
open for public comment. Michael.
Okay, if you are a member of the public and wish to provide public comment at tonight's Borough Council meeting, please click the raise your hand icon, click on your name, raise your hand icon, or *9 on a mobile phone. You will be unmuted and recognized. Again, you have 3 minutes and you will be timed. Thank you. Okay, Mayor, first up, resident Chris Giordano.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Thank you very much. So, Mayor, you did just describe that an email was sent by several individuals who have been meeting with you in the past. So I want to read that email as part of my 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, dear Mayor and Council, Happy New Year. We hope you all enjoyed some respite since we last saw each other. In fact, reflecting upon our last meeting together, we came to several conclusions that we feel implored to share. We'd like to express we wholeheartedly appreciate the time you invested in this matter. Unfortunately, after 2 meetings, there's been a lack of commitment on the side of the borough. You could not commit to the same promise about paying for the entirety of the fine that was accrued by means of mismanagement, whereby your wording and strategy changed from one meeting to the next. You also could not commit to putting any of that in writing, as you've done in the past with other memorandums of agreement. And you also could not commit to providing a respectable sum of money towards phase 1 of a multi-phase sewer project to sewer the majority of Oakland. And you instead downplay this argument and the associated costs as de minimis. Due to your failure to formally commit to important components that we see as necessary to moving these issues towards a mutually beneficial resolution, we respectfully declined your invitation to meet with you in person at the end of this month. At this point, we believe that our party is providing ideas, facts, and possible solutions with little creativity and plenty of pushback from the side of the borough. We're hopeful that we could resume discussions at such a time that you are willing, to bring forth real commitments and ideas and solutions that reflect what you previously represented and what you intend to do to remedy this situation in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Mayor, next up is resident Jay DeMoro.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Good evening, Jay DeMoro, 35 Massasoit Trail. I just wanted to make a comment that, again, thanking you guys for meeting with us, but I wanted to comment on the fact that our understanding is that the first payment towards the fines that the town incurred were paid last year, $100,000 payment, which came out of surplus money in the sewer utility. And I just wanted to say that I oppose the use of surplus money collected from us for the payment of the fines. We were also told that the $100,000 can never be reimbursed. And I sort of propose that if there's surplus from money you've collected from us on our extraordinary bills, that we get reimbursed that overage until we can decide how surplus can be spent towards construction or things that we think are beneficial to us. And that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, next up, resident Katrine Beck.
Good evening, Katrine Beck, 8 Chapel Hill. I just wanted to comment that we have some open questions that have not been answered, given the fact that we, the sewer users, are the ones who are taxed with paying the costs. It would be really helpful if we have some updates from Councilman Bialy as the chair to let us know where we are in the project, what steps are coming up, what's happening. It seems that there is no information coming to us as the users. It's more on us contacting you guys and scouring the internet to try to find out what's on the agenda and what's happening. Last time I posed a question with respect to the drafting of the sewer ordinance. It doesn't appear that there's an answer or a plan for that. I asked if there was any update with respect to the amendment application that was submitted and whether it was approved or not. There still is no answer to that. I asked whether the sewer users would be updated in a different format other than posting something in a newspaper 48 hours before. It seems like you're still sticking to that format. Clearly, you have our emails, you have our addresses, you know how to reach us. I think it makes sense if we have some transparency and engage in some real conversation. So I, really implore you to please do so if you can. That's it.
Thank you. I'm taking notes. Next, Michael.
Next up, resident Benjamin Wagman.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, name and address.
Hi, Ben, just making sure you can hear me. Benjamin Wagman, 10 Mountain Lakes Road. With respect to the fines that were incurred as a result of negligence by the council's operator for the sewers in the amount of about $421,000, I had sat with the mayor and with the council discussing these fines, and unanimously, both the mayor and many of the council members agreed that this is not something that we, the sewer people, should have to burden. Therefore, their response was, don't worry about it. I don't want to hear about the fines. The fines are going to be taken care of. This is some degree, some quotes here, okay, in terms of what was said. Well, it was found out at the second meeting with the sewer representatives, okay, the unelected sewer representatives and the council, that this was not exactly the case. The $100,000 of the $421,000 had already been paid and cannot be refunded. The future of the remaining fines is only dependent on the future council. Okay, there's no guarantee that those fines will go away. It's up to the future council. That's how it was made clear. Therefore, the time that I spent talking about this and that we, the representatives, spent amounted to what I define as, or what I call, deception. And let me define deception in terms of Webster's dictionary. The act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false or invalid. To me, that's how this issue of the $421,000 and to those that I sat with from the sewer representatives think. This is deception, Mayor, and this is deception, council members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagman. Next.
Mayor, next up, resident Rachel Gregory.
Hi, Rachel Gregory, 2 Kiowa Terrace. Again, in respect to the sewer meeting that we had before the holidays, I found it disrespectful, frankly, Mayor, that you left before the meeting was over. The meeting was very painful for all of us, especially the sewer users who were being told the opposite of what we were told in the first meeting. But to just decide, somewhere in the middle of the meeting that you had enough and you wanted to leave, I felt was disrespectful to everyone who took the time to be at the meeting and to listen to other people speak. And, there was really no explanation. You just up and left. So I just think that definitely left a bad taste in our mouth, and I don't think that was appropriate as the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, resident Charles Boyle. Mr. Boyle, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay, sorry. This is Charlie Boyle, 43 Massasoit Trail. I have to agree with 100% what Chris Giordano said and Ben Wegman. I'm very disappointed that we do not have closure on this issue with the fine. It can't be credited back to us. I find that impossible. How can that be? Interestingly enough, if we overpay taxes, the IRS can give us a refund. We can't figure out a way to credit this back. How is that? I find that impossible. Second thing is, when I go and look at my sewer grate, it says 1966. That's over 50 years old. In my mind, we have 50 plus years of mismanagement of this sewer system by a variety of elected town people, public officials. This is an issue. Payment for this new system needs to be jointly funded by everybody. Period, end of story. I don't want to hear about anything beyond that. We need a joint solution that we all can agree with. And frankly, the town is not looking at that at all. Everything's our problem, 200 plus households, and it's not. So please take that under consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, resident Jennifer Inglet.
Hi, Mayor. This is Jennifer Inglet from 1 Chapel Hill Road. I'm just finding out about this surplus account this evening, and I just had some questions. First is, do we have the $320,000 left in the surplus account, which would cover the remainder of the fine? Is this an interest-bearing account? Are we making money off this account, and what other purposes has it been used for, and what other purposes will be it used for? So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, resident Sarah Michel.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, but I don't see you. Are you on?
I'm here. So
Okay.
It's Sarah Michel, 23 Cayuga Avenue. I wanted to echo what Benjamin Wagman mentioned. We started off with the sewer conversation that the ACO fines will be taken care of 100%, which is $421,000. You, Ms. Mayor, have also told us not to worry about it repeatedly. Unfortunately, at the last meeting with the 5 of us, with the 5 of you, December 22nd, I actually went ahead and learned that $100,000 was already paid for from our sewer budget in 2019. And just like everyone else said, we can't get that back apparently. That's unfortunate because we were promised over and over again that $421,000 would be taken care of by the borough and not the sewer users. So we're very disappointed to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, I have a resident Vic T.
Yeah, good evening. This is Vic Taffro, 12 Mountain Lakes Road. I just want to echo a lot of people's sentiment already stated this evening. It just seems absolutely ridiculous that this group of 225 of us cannot get reasonable answers. We don't seem to be making unreasonable demands. And it seems that, arbitrarily, it's easy, since none of you live in this sewer area, to just push it on. I hope this, as an open town meeting, people realize that could be them in another neighborhood or another part, or maybe just a school or a town building or a library. Somebody please take a step back, reevaluate this, keep to your commitments, and maybe reassess your risk management, because I don't know if the town requires future vendors to be responsible, have professional liability or errors and omissions coverage, provide and require bonding for companies you are working, because this is utterly ridiculous to pass on your negligence or the management company's negligence onto the people who are paying the services. Thank you. I hope you truly reconsider this, and not saying something's recoverable is absolutely ludicrous. If you mispaid a bill, you would change it and reverse it. So have a happy and healthy new year, everyone, and hopefully you guys readdress this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, at this time, I see no one further.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
The next thing are approval of minutes from December 21st.
So
There are
moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van.
I'm going to abstain. I missed that meeting.
We have a meeting from December 21st, on Monday night. It was executive session. If there's going to be any discussion, it must be made during executive session. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Will there be discussion? If not, roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Eck.
Same thing. I'm going to abstain. I missed it.
Thank you. Actually, I'm going to have to go back to my kitchen office for now on, because I don't have enough room in my office so it's taken me a while to move papers around. So I apologize to everybody. So at this time, at the last meeting, at the oath of office meeting, this council voted for Eric Kamala to be the council president, and as done in the past, the council president will announce the appointments of council committee and liaison appointments.
Thank you, Mayor. I've spoken to everybody here over the course of the last week. I'm going to start first with the I'm going to start with the council liaison positions first. For public events, that'll be Councilman Talamini. For Environmental Commission, it will be Councilman Pignatelli. For schools, it will be Councilman Talamini. For senior citizens, it will be Councilman Pignatelli. For Board of Health, Councilman Pignatelli. For OEM, Office of Emergency Management, will be myself, Councilman Kamala. For Flood Commission, it will be Councilman Knapp. For Rec Commission, it will be Councilman Van Eck. For Municipal Alliance, it will be Councilman John Bialy. For Communications, it will be Councilman Van Eck. For Shade Tree, Councilman Van Eck. Library, Councilman Kamala, myself. Historical, will be Councilman Bialy. I know he's been working very hard with the Ben Allen House project. Park Committee will be myself, Eric Kamala, and Green Team will be Councilman Knapp. Now for the standing council committees will be the following for 2021. For Finance, Chair will be Talamini. Second will be Councilman Van Eck. Public Safety will be Councilman Pignatelli, followed by myself, Councilman Kamala. DPW will be Councilman Van Eck. Mr. Bialy will be the second on that. Water and Sewer, the chair will be Councilman Knapp. Mr. Bialy will be the second on that. Intergovernmental will be Mr. Bialy with Mr. Talamini as a second on that. And for land use will be myself. Those are the council committees for year 2021. Thank you, everybody.
Any comments? Councilman Knapp is going to be the chair of Water and Sewer. No one's commenting. All right, and with
Well,
that,
Councilman Knapp, well, we all know what's going on with Councilman Knapp, and it just seems to me that there won't be a good continuity of service for the water and sewer.
all right, well, I don't, and nothing I can say. I was not discussed with, it was not asked for, nobody contacted me, so I don't know what else I can say. With that, we have appointments of professionals. And back in 2020, the administration committee met with myself and our profession and Mr. Kunz, and I think was Mr. Young on that, Richard?
No.
Okay. And we reviewed the RFQs that was submitted for the
I was
various,
on it with you, Mayor.
right, the administration. Weren't you on the administration?
Yeah, I said I was with
Yes.
you on, yeah.
Yes, and I said in our professional, yes. And we went through the RFQs and we discussed them in depth. And this is for borough attorney. It was suggested that Brian Jakowski from Cleary, Giacobbe, Alfieri, Jacobs, LLC be appointed our borough attorney. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Abstain.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
No.
Thank you all.
So we have majority. That's what we need, right? Just a simple majority?
You need at least 3 votes, Mayor, and you have them.
You got it. Got it. Borough engineer. We had a very lengthy discussion on borough engineer, considering all that has happened. We had 3 submissions. Kevin Boswell from Boswell Engineering, Neglia Engineering Associates, and Suburban Consulting Engineers. All 3 we have looked at and were qualified. Boswell Engineering has been our engineer and is holding, if they are appointed, they will hold their 2020 rates. They will not increase their rates. And at the next meeting, we will discuss qualifying, which they were, the other 2 engineering firms. We have to have one as a borough attorney, but we will be allowed to offer jobs and projects to the other qualifying firms, which are Neglia and Suburban, if you do appoint Boswell Engineering. So is there a motion to appoint Boswell Engineering?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Hold on, time. Can you just go over that last part, what you said about the all 3 of the engineers? I'm sorry.
All 3 engineers were qualified and they will be certified at the next meeting. And such that we have to have one as a borough engineer, but we will be allowed to go and, I don't know what the term is, contract out. Is that the term, Brian? For the other qualifying engineers that we will certify.
My understanding that there will be 3 engineering firms that will be qualified to perform services. Therefore, they will be permitted to provide proposals, and the governing body could select from those proposals from those engineers so qualified from the responses received in 2020. And I believe one of those engineers is Boswell. Under the law, you are required to provide for the appointment of a borough engineer, but that does not require you to award all contracts to that borough engineer.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question also, Mr. Chakowski? So then how does the council decide which engineering firm is the primary, or is Boswell the primary? And then if we...
Yes, Boswell will be the borough engineer based upon the nomination that was just made by the mayor. However, the council will have the right to select other services from engineers based upon those that were qualified. So I was requested by Mr. Coons to provide, to provide a resolution for that will be acted upon the next meeting.
So one more question. Let's say we had a project, just use the roller rink as an example. Does that mean we would solicit all 3 engineering firms for a quote on the job, or the engineering fees for the job? How do we differentiate those?
That is up to council, but that is typically what would happen, is that you would, want to see what the proposals are from each firm and evaluate that proposal along with the expertise of the firm.
Thank you. And just one more question for the committee. What brought on this change this year to have more than one firm?
That I can't answer. I think that, it's somewhat standard these days. If you qualify, when I was at the authority, we qualified groups of attorneys and engineers, not knowing the particular expertise that would be required for the ensuing year. It just made it easier because all the paperwork has been submitted, and you could solicit those proposals. But as indicated, the statute requires that you appoint a borough engineer.
Does that help with bid thresholds? I know as an electrician, I work in different school systems, and I'm part of a list. And now because I'm on this list, I could bid higher. I could bid for more expensive jobs and not go out to bid because I'm pre-approved.
I don't know. I don't believe that's the case here, but Mr. Coons could answer that. He's
no. In this case, we're talking about professional services, which are exempt from the requirements of bidding under local public contracts law anyway, as you know. But it does help facilitate obtaining, quotes in an easier way than doing formal proposals or requests for proposals every time.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. We have discussion. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
For Borough Auditor, well, I don't know why you're thanking us, John. You still have to deal with Planning Board and Zoning Board.
Well, it keeps me on my toes, Mayor.
I got it. Glad to have you. Borough Auditor, we had one submission, Lurch, Vinci, and Higgins. We spoke to our CFO, David Young, to get his report. He was very happy. He was very appreciative of the help that they've given him during these interim years that we have him. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for Lurch, Vinci, and Higgins.
So moved.
There's 2 so moves. Is there a second?
Sure.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Bond counsel. We only had one submission. It's been our bond counsel, Rogert McCarthy. There a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yep.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Now, on the risk manager, we have 2. Is that correct, Richard?
That is correct. As in the past, we're recommending that we award one for health benefits and the other for the property and casualty part of the work.
And do we have to do that separately?
I
So
would do that.
for the health benefits, the risk manager, there was only one, the Baza agency for health benefits. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
For the casualty and liability, Brown and Brown was the only submission. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
For Borough Planner, there were 2 submissions. It's been suggested that we continue to use Burgess Associates with Steve Lyden, since he's been familiar with our town and knows what's going on, and he knows our town inside and out, probably more than a lot of us. So is there a motion to approve Burgess?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Water and sewer engineer, same discussion as we had for the borough engineer. We had 3 submissions: Kevin Boswell for Boswell Engineering, Neglia Engineering, and Suburban Consultants. It's been suggested that we continue to use Boswell since of his relationship with Northwest Bergen Utilities Authority, and he's been working on this from day 1. Oh, actually, no, day 2 was Crew initiated. Sorry. Day 1 with me, it was Crew originally. It would be the same deal, designated as the water and sewer engineer, but the other 2 firms will be qualified, and there'll be a resolution regarding same at the next meeting. So is there a motion to appoint Kevin Boswell as our water and sewer engineer?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Thank you again.
Labor attorney, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 submissions. Matthew Jacoby, who's been our labor attorney from Cleary Jacoby, Alfieri Jacobs, the Corrigan Law Firm, Giblin and I forgot how you pronounce his name. How do you pronounce his name?
Ganio?
Janeo?
Ganio, Mike Ganio.
Ganio, that's right, Ganio, I should know. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Ganio. Wiss and Borgi, and the law office of Richard Malagiri, who you should remember from the lawsuit with the library. Is there a motion to, it was the recommendation of the committee to reappoint Matthew Jacoby?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Borough prosecutor, there were 2 submissions, Andrew Simaluka and Giblin and Ganio. Andrew Simaluka is our current prosecutor, spoke with the police department because they have a lot to say with prosecutors. I could tell you that for a fact. So it was the recommendation that we reappoint Andrew Simaluka. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
How long
Roll
has
call.
discussion? How long has the Simaluka firm been working for the borough at this time? How many years?
Since when did Bonacore become our judge?
3 or 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years.
3 years ago.
3 years ago? 4 years ago? All right, thank you.
Being a prosecutor myself, I know how important it is for a prosecutor to work well with the court staff. That is extremely important. And apparently Dawn and Andrew do work well. And it's more important to work with the police department and have a good relationship, especially when it comes time for discovery, etc. So with that, do we have a motion and a second and discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Now, for alternate prosecutor, this is the alternate, which is really a substitute. If just in case there is a conflict of interest or the prosecutor is unable to make it, though, for the past year, I could tell you since all courts are on Zoom, there has been very little use of any substitute prosecutor at all. So with that, Andrew Roth was the only one who submitted. He's been our substitute. He works well with Andrew Samaluka. And with that, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
I guess there was a somewhere. I see green around the rectangle. Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
You,
Yes.
you said about the green around the picture?
Right.
Like Hollywood Squares.
Oh. Except they make
All of us,
you know, they go up and down, right? You're
yeah,
right.
the one of us that remember that. Some of us.
A couple of us, right? It may come back yet.
Yeah.
Public defender, we only had one submission. Diane D'Alessandro has been our public defender, I think, for 2 years or 1 year. She is retired from the county public defender's office. Again, works well with the police, works well with Dawn, our court administrator, and it's so important for the public defender to work well with the prosecutor. With that, is there a motion to approve her?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
There has been no one who put in for alternate public defender. I did reach out to some of the defense attorneys that I know. They didn't put in time. So hopefully by the next meeting, we will have a substitute, it's called alternate public defender. It's important, again, once again, if there are co-defendants, the public defender cannot handle both defendants. She would need somebody to assist her with the other defendant. So hopefully by the next council meeting, another attorney will put in. As far as all the positions for planning board and board of adjustments, that is done at the various boards, which will be, I don't know what happened last night at the zoning board, if they were appointed, but tomorrow night is the planning board.
Mayor, question?
Yes.
On the alternate public defender, what happened? We didn't receive any bids, or they were late
No.
coming in? What happened?
Exactly. Exactly what you said.
There were no other submissions.
There were no other submissions. So are we
And
opening
actually, Richard said we do not need any for the alternates, but I always tell them they should put in. I did reach out to a couple of defense attorneys. They didn't get it in time. Hopefully we'll have something for the next meeting because it's important. Otherwise, Diane and the court administrator will have to quickly get on the phone or make calls to find other attorneys that can help in a case of a conflict or in the case of a problem where there are two co-defendants, because like I said, one attorney is no longer by law allowed to handle two co-defendants. You have to have two separate attorneys. I'm sorry, what?
And did the administration committee know this, or is this?
We didn't have it at the time. We didn't have anybody.
Okay.
There was nobody at the time.
Okay.
So there was nobody.
All right. So
You
the
have
bid
a list
is
of everybody. You have a list. We didn't
Okay.
hide anything.
okay. So all right. Okay, that's fine. Just so I'm clear. So the bid is open for another person for the alternate.
Yeah,
public
an
defender.
attorney has to be an attorney.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you know of anybody out there who's a defense attorney and is interested in putting in as our alternate public defender, please contact me and I will explain what's going on. Though what's happened, Councilman Kamala, is that with Zoom, it's unusual for the prosecutor or the public defender not to be available, because if it's inclement weather, it doesn't matter because everybody's home. So we haven't had a problem so far. Let's see if someone puts in. And with that, I have my chart. You all know that I make my charts. I made my charts of all the appointments for boards and commissions. You all received from last year, who was on boards and commissions. This is my charts. You all know where the vacancies are. I had reached out to some of the chairs to say, you know, are they interested in being reappointed? So at this point, that's mine. Sorry, a little crowded in here. So on the planning board is the mayor's appointment. This is all by state statute. The planning board is the mayor's appointment. And there were 3 openings. And Class 2 Lee Heyman has submitted and has asked to be reappointed, so he will be reappointed. Mike Rose has a 4-year term. He has asked to be reappointed, so I'm reappointing him. And Gregory Liss, as alternate 1, has a 2-year appointment. I'm reappointing him. And now Councilman Kubala as a Class 3. For the Board of Zoning Adjustments, there were 2 openings. Ed Ackley for a 4-year appointment and alternate 1, Sherry Campanelli, for a 2-year appointment. Both have submitted their citizen leadership forms and had asked to be reappointed. I've spoken to the chair, Rick LaPrey, and asked that they all work well together on the board. It's been a very active board. So I asked for a motion to appoint Ed Ackley to the 4-year term and Sherry Campanelli, alternate 1, to the 2-year term.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Board of Health, there were 3 openings. 3 members have reappointments. Stephen Tippinger, Joanne Ashkenazi, and Yurval Ashkenazi both have submitted, all 3 have submitted citizen leadership forms. So I asked Councilman Pignatelli to make the motion.
Yes, I make the motion that the 3 names that we just read be reappointed to the Board of Health.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
All right, there are the recreation. I had spoken to Councilman Van Ack. Thank you for coming back. They really are very excited that you will be back. They are very appreciative of all the work you've done on the Rec Commission. So Sandra Cora for reappointment, and that's a mayor's appointment. Now, the interesting thing is Vivian King has resigned because she's now on the regional school board. Her term ended in December 31st, 2023. Dan Legato's term ends 12/31/2021. Rather than appoint somebody brand new to take the place of Vivian, I'm moving Dan Legato into the unexpired term of Vivian King so that he will now have an appointment at least until 2023. We have somebody interested for another position, but we were supposed to meet with him. Unfortunately, the meeting was canceled unavoidably, and so that will be held up, Councilman Van Ack, until I'll talk to you about that. Our Communications Commission is appointment with the council approval. We have Timothy Catrini did not submit a form, so I don't know if he wants to come back on. Ryan Schwartzberger submitted his form. Alex McVie submitted his form. Salma Shami submitted her form. And junior member Benjamin Good for a 1-year term submitted his form. So for those, I ask if there is a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes, and I just want to mention the individual you were saying that didn't send in a form hasn't been involved in for years.
So you think that he's not interested?
I would say no.
All
I'll
right,
reach
so-
out again, but it's been years.
Linda, his term actually ended in 19.
Well, he's still listed. I don't know why he was still listed on the form for last year. So my question is, if there's anybody out there who's very interested, now we have 2 openings. We have the 3-year term that it was an opening and another opening. So we have 2 openings on the Oakland Communications Commission. And so if you know anybody interested, we'd love to have you submit a form. The library board is a mayor's appointment, and there were 2 openings. Marilyn Ciaffi, 5-year term, I'm reappointing. She submitted a form. And the mayor's alternate, Ann Russo, for 1-year term, I am appointing her. Flood Commission. Again, this is, I make a recommendation or I make a name, and then it's up to the council. We have Ray Carroll and Michael Pritchard. Both terms are expired. They both submitted forms, and I submit their names. Their motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
There is a 3-year term opening on the Flood Commission. Environmental Commission. Again, has to be voted by the council. Lee Heyman, his term is up, and he submitted a citizen leadership form. So if I can have a motion for environmental.
So
moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
You, Councilman Pignatelli, do you know if Eric Ham is interested? He didn't submit anything.
No, Mayor, I don't know. I could call him now.
Okay. So then we have alternate 1 and alternate 2. Alternate 1 and 2, Elizabeth Ashoa was alternate 2. Her term expires next year, and I'm suggesting we just appoint her to a regular term, 3-year term. Is that
Mayor,
acceptable?
I believe she resigned.
Oh, she resigned. So there goes that. Okay, you have your work cut out for you, Councilman Pignatelli. We have a lot of openings, though we did receive 2 additional names. Austin Wall for a 3-year term and Jerry Engelmuller for a 3-year term. So I'll ask if anybody's interested in that and make a motion. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
So for the Environmental Commission, we have a 3-year term, a 2-year alternate 1, a 2-year alternate 2, and Eric Ham, that we'll have to find out if he's still interested in staying on. Shade Tree, mayor's appointment. Joe Laterra and Anthony Smith both have expired, and they put in to be reappointed. That's a mayor's appointment. Ray Carroll was alternate 1. His has a 1-year unexpired. I'll move him into the 4-year term. So now we have Terry Casaleggio, who resigned. We have an unexpired 2-year term, and we have an alternate 1. We will have an alternate 1 unexpired. So if anybody, Councilman Van Ack, if you know of anybody interested in the Shade Tree. Park Committee, everybody who was on the Park Committee has requested to stay, and they were the first group to submit their citizen leadership forms in full. Mike Guadagnino, Lee Heyman, Nancy Larkin, Sandra Cora, Steve Saliani, and Peter Kekon. However, I don't know if we can do this. We have to pass the resolution first. Is that correct, Mr. Chakowski?
Yes.
So that's on hold until we pass the resolution. Green Team is a mayor's appointment. That also is that a 1 year? Or is that the sustainable, which is?
The green team is sustainable.
And we have to
It's-
wait.
You have to, it's 1 year and you have to wait until you adopt that resolution tonight as well.
Okay, so we can't do anything with that anyway. Okay, Municipal Alliance.
We didn't.
All we have is a chairman. Mark
Exactly.
Piercy. Detective Mark Piercy. Public events. And who is public events this year?
That's my committee this year.
So we have, for public events, we have the following openings that have put in to be reappointed. Robert Gawarek and Andrea Levy. And Robert Laskar and Michael Rose. The only one who submitted to be reappointed is Andrea Levy. So, and these are 3-year appointments. So,
Mayor?
make a motion?
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
There was some question at the Public Events Committee meeting Monday night that I attended, because I was formerly the chair, that some of the names you mentioned have not been to any meetings.
All right, I'll read the names. Jerry Engelmuller.
No. The ones that need to be reappointed.
Oh, Robert Gawarek.
I don't know. The secretary was going to contact the 4 and find out if they still wanted to be reappointed.
Oh, but in addition to them, we still have 3 additionals. So the only one who put it is Andrea Levy. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
No.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
All right, then the only other one is emergency management, but that is something that gets submitted by each of the groups. And then usually Roy Balberger will give us a list. So Lisa, if you could contact Roy Balberger and see what his plan is for that. Now we have a raffle license, RL1389 for Parents Athletic Committee, Indian Hills High School, to hold an off-premise raffle for merchandise on February 21st, 2021 at Indian Hills High School. And is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolutions. I'll read them as a consent agenda. If any wish to pull out, let me know. 2101 to 2128 is a consent agenda that we do every year, and you should all have read it in your packet before you vote. And to the general public, all these resolutions can be found and read and at your leisure. Resolution 2021. The local budget law provides, in addition to temporary appropriations necessary for the period, we are allowed to make temporary appropriations by a 2/3 vote of the council. The 2020 budget, less appropriations made for interest and debt resumption charges, capital improvements, and public assistance. Current funds $444,325.88. Water utility $1,629,600. Sewer utility operating $474,800. 26.25% of the total appropriations, exclusive of interest and debt, for the current funds of $4,579,135.31. Water utility $427,770. No cents. Sewer utility, $124,635. Resolution 2130 is staff appointments for 2021. Michael Corelli, Deputy Borough Clerk, David Young as our Treasurer. 2031 crossing guards. And these are police department appointments that have been recommended by Chief Zanzari. Crossing guards, Barbara Beeman, William Bickford, John Carr, Marianne Carroll, substitute. Monica Carson, Philip DiBiase, Marilyn Dockery, Maria Jimenez, John Gray, Mindy Greenfield, Deborah Hill, Robert Lynn, Deborah Patterson, sub. Richard Pierce, Charlotte Shafler, sub. William Sisti, sub. Kelly Smith, Therese Volman, and Robert Weston. Police matrons, Monica Carson and Lynn Verhaeg. 2132, Bergen County Mutual Aid Plan and Rapid Deployment Force. Law enforcement officials have a responsibility to provide for preparedness against national emergencies. The Bergen County Police Association has proposed a mutual aid plan and rapid deployment force, and the police department, under the direction of the police chief and cooperating with the Police Chiefs Association, as an agreement with the municipalities, the County of Bergen, to put into place the mutual aid fund and rapid deployment force. 2133, confirm extension of outdoor dining. As you're aware, Resolution 2214 in 2020 allowed for outdoor dining. Then Resolution 2309 allowed for outdoor dining to continue through March 31st, 2021. This mayor and council confirms that they have agreed to allow outdoor dining to continue through March 31st, 2021, under the same terms and conditions as set forth in Resolution 2214. 2034 is authorized deduction change order library project, and this was an original contract of $1,469,505.49, and this was with Dascal LLC, to contract between them and the borough. The remaining balance is $57,456.49. However, there's a dispute and incomplete items, and they agreed to a deduction change order in the amount of $17,500. 2135, adopt form for notice of tort claim. I don't know if you're all aware of what you have to do if you are going to file against a municipality or any governmental agency. You have to file a tort claim, and so this will provide for a form. Resolution 2136 is authorized refund of taxes and cancel taxes due to totally disabled veteran tax exemption. And thank you for your service, Mr. Joseph Solomon, December 1st, 2019, owner of 107 Pawnee Avenue, Block 5402, Lot 19, was declared permanently disabled and granted full property tax exemption. The borough, this 2037, this will reestablish the Borough of Oakland's Green Team. And thank you to all members of the Green Team who have been working so hard to get us where we are today and our awards. 2031 reestablishes the Great Oak Park. This is another annual resolution. 2139, the borough, through the Oakland Police Department, to participate in the Defense Logistics Agency Law Enforcement Support Office and to request and acquire excessive Department of Defense equipment. 2140, appointing coordinator for the borough's emergency telephone system. And this resolution appoints Keith Dockra of the Oakland Police Department to serve as the municipal coordinator for the borough's 911 system. Resolution 2141, this is for non-union salaries, effective January 1st, 2021. There is a very long list. It's on record if anybody wishes to check. It is the salaries for all non-union employees in the borough. 2142, authorized contract for IT managed services, and it is for the borough's main network, police network, and fire department. Altitude Unlimited, 1050 Wall Street West, Suite 203, Lyndhurst, has state contract M7000 for the services required. Altitude Unlimited has submitted a proposal at a cost not to exceed $47,886, and the CFO has certified that there are funds available. 2143, authorized contract with Land Conservancy of New Jersey, not to exceed $12,000. They're keeping the same rate that they did in 2020, and they're the ones who help us obtain the grants and the Green Acres funding. 2044, authorized agreement with Insurance Design Administrators known as IDA. They help with providing certain vision care coverage to eligible employees and retirees as well as a reimbursement program for certain retirees to match the medical coverage they are entitled to under their respective collective bargaining agreement. 2145, approved surplus vehicle auction bids. And the bidding is as follows. 2004 Ford F-250 and Western Plow to Lazaro Triana for $3,700. 2001 Ford F-250 and Western Plow, Lazaro Triana, $4,300. 2003 Crown Vic to John Lawrence for $1,000. Dynapack Roller to Paul DiMartini for $3,650. And a 1990 K621 loader to Kevin Dupel for $14,600. Resolution 2146, authorized refund of recreation fees. This is to the Berrien family, $73 for rec basketball, and the Andro family, $227 for rec and travel basketball. 2147, a with bid digital sign. It's the lower bid, a total bid price of $59,000. CFO has certified that the funds are available. 2148, authorized promotion of Sandra Steele from clerk 1 to clerk 2 at an annual salary of $48,352. She is doing the work in the health department, the Board of Health, and takes care of the registry. So thank you. She's been doing a great job. 2149, authorized seasonal snow plow employees. There's always a need, hopefully not so much this winter, but there's always a need to hire seasonal snow plow employees to helping with the DPW. The current snow rate is $31 per hour, and to Charles Kelly. 2150, authorized Phoenix Advisors LLC to serve as our continuing disclosure agent, and which is required by the state to file financial and statistical information, as well as notices of material events affecting the borough, and in the amount of $1,050. Authorized refund of UCC fees for outdoor dining. Sanchino's, $200. Portobello, $1,300. 2152, authorizing the purchase of gasoline through the 2017 New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Alliance Contract 1741. I never know how to pronounce this. Rachel.
Rachel.
Michel's?
Yes.
Rachel Michel's. 2153, authorizing the purchase of diesel fuel through the 2017 NJ Cooperative Purchasing Alliance Contract 1742 to Rachel Michel's Oil Company. 2154, reappoint our tax collector. We have a tax collector, Deborah Benigno. She was hired June 17th, 2019 through December 31st, 2020 to fill the unexpired term of our former tax collector. She wishes to continue in the position. According to NJSA 40A:9-142, the term shall be for 4 years. And so starting on the first day of January 2021, ending December 31st, 2024. Authorized refund of taxes due to totally disabled veteran tax exemption. Brian Fernandez, 720 Round Plum Valley Road, Block 5301, Lot 5, as of November 10th, 2020. Once again, thank you, Brian, for your service to our country. 2056, authorized refund of taxes due to overpayment. And this is a request from Ricky and Consolacion Klempner for a refund taxes due, Block 802, Lot 57, 7 Woods End, $4,657.83. Authorized overpayment of taxes to John J. and Cindy A. Holderfer, 185 Lakeshore Drive, Block 1501, Lot 6, $250. Overpayment, 2158, John L. and Laura E. Ernest for a refund overpayment, Block 1607, Lot 3, 160.97 cents. Authorized refund of taxes due to overpayment. And this is Deborah A. Brown for taxes due to a successful 2020 county tax board judgment. And it is block 22511, lot 12, Grandview Avenue, in the amount of $179.94. And Resolution 2063, authorized 2021 shared service agreement sludge disposal with the Northwest Bergen County Utilities Authority. And it is for a shared service agreement for sludge disposal, maximum 2.6% solids, $35 per 1,000 gallons, maximum greater than 2.6, maximum 4% solids, $54 per 1,000, maximum greater than 4% solids, and maximum of 8% solids, $72.50 per 1,000 gallons, and for sludge with solids greater than 8%, $95 per 1,000 gallons. Is there any you wish to pull out before we do a consent agenda? Motion.
So moved.
Wait, hold on. I was going to ask to pull out 2137.
The green team?
Yes.
Okay. So all others other than 2137. There are
So moved.
motions.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Eck.
Yes.
All right, everybody go back, 2137. A resolution to reestablish the Borough of Oakland Green Team. Yes, Councilman Van Eck.
Councilman Pignatelli could speak to this more detail than I can. I just wanted to bring this up because there was, since I'm doing Shade Tree as well, that we had a conversation that he went back to them. I mean, Pat, if you want to chime in, you can and speak because you were the one who did it, to the Environmental Commission and then Shade Tree. So if you want to fill us in.
Yeah, I believe last year, Mayor, I don't know if you brought it up or a former council president brought up about merging the Green Team with the Environmental Commission. And I brought that back to the Green Team, and they felt that if it did happen, that their mission statement would be more closely aligned with the Shade Tree than with the Environmental Commission. So I think that has to be worked out, what's going to happen, because I know last year we did discuss it. Do you recall that, Mayor?
So Brian, is this a problem? Because I know there are statutories for certain committees and commissions. Richard?
Yeah, Mary, if I can, this topic did come up last year. I believe it was discussed amongst the boards and commissions, Green Team and Environmental Commission and Shade Tree. And my recollection is that it was finally decided that really the role and purpose and goals and objectives of the Sustainable Green Team really don't align much anymore, or don't align closely enough to either the Shade Tree Commission, where there is one set of actions in the Sustainable Jersey program related to trees, or the Environmental Commission, although there are environmental actions in the program as well. But there's also a lot of actions, a lot of activities that really don't align with either of those functions. And the thought was that the commission, or the committee rather, really does deserve to stand on its own, given what it wants to accomplish.
Well, part of the problem is, Rich, that part of this discussion was we're spread so thin. We heard the mayoral appointments and the volunteer need we have in our town on Shade Tree and on in the Environmental Commission. So we're looking to just, we can consolidate and we can find a way to create some overlap on what's going on, instead of being the Department of Redundancy department on the things that there are overlap with.
You know what, I understand.
I thought it was statutory on the environmental. I must be wrong. Brian?
Not on Green Team, though. I don't think it's
No, the environmental.
Yeah, if I may, this was discussed last year. The Environmental Commission and Shade Tree Commission have specific authority pursuant to the statute. And, you know, it seems to be pretty clear. The issue came up with the Green Team as was just referenced by Mr. Coons, that there are more sustainable issues than either Shade Tree or the Environmental Commission are empowered to address. So I forget when the Green Team was established, but it was basically established to address those issues with neither the Shade Tree nor Environmental Commission was handling. That's the reason behind it.
If I recall, the Environmental Commission has been lacking in meetings and membership.
Yep.
There hasn't been too much of an interest in the Environmental Commission, though two new people were interested in joining. Everybody, I mean, I have on the Green Team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 reappointments. They all submitted citizen leadership forms. The only people who didn't are the representatives from different boards and commissions. But basically, the Green Team all submitted that they want to be reappointed. They worked very hard. They're the ones who got us the silver certification. I mean, they really worked very hard. But I don't know what to do about the environmental. Lee Heyman was up. He submitted.
I mean, it's definitely a problem. This is
the environmental. The environmental commission is a problem.
That's why I was hoping maybe we could bring them together, and that way since we have so many great engaged volunteers in one place, if there was overlap between these two commissions, that we would be able to join forces and have more programs and more things that we're supposed to be doing happening as a result.
And everybody
of
on the
together.
Shade Tree wants to come back.
Yeah, but there's still vacancy.
2.
Yeah. And
Whereas
2 on
there's just
OCC.
about more vacancies on the environmental than there are people interested.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I've found over the years, and Grant, to your point, yes, we have an awful lot of volunteer boards here that require a constant input from volunteers, and we always seem to have some difficulty in reaching full capacity with some of them. But I know with Sustainable Jersey in particular, there is a diversity there of interests that are accommodated by that committee, where you could have members that have joined the Green Team to pursue certain things that they're not going to then want, or they may not be as involved if that also means needing to do certain things statutorily, to fulfill the responsibilities of the Environmental Commission as well.
Mr. Coons?
Yes.
Does the Green Team apply for grants?
They do, with my office, yes.
And does having a silver rating improve their chances of grants?
I don't know whether that opens up any additional opportunities to us.
What does this silver rating do for us?
It's really a market distinction that we're a community that's involved, that we embrace the goals and objectives of sustainability as they're set forth, and that we accomplish a lot of those activities that have been put out there as goals of kind of hallmarks of a community that tries to be economically and socially and environmentally sustainable.
So it sounds like the Green Team, they're doing fine by themselves. The Shade Tree is doing fine by themselves. It's what we're going to do with the Environmental Commission. Suggestions.
Can the Green Team be a subsidiary of the Environmental Commission?
That's what I was originally thinking when it was brought up. Whoever brought it up last year, that's exactly what I got excited about.
Yeah, I know at that time, if I recall correctly, I don't know that either the Environmental Commission or the Green Team really wanted to pursue that. I don't know if something's changed, but that's my recollection.
When is the next Environmental Commission meeting? Councilman, do you know?
I don't have it on. Let me see. Wait a second.
My Borough calendar's in the kitchen. I can't run over there and look.
And mine's downstairs.
February 2nd.
February 2nd?
All right,
Maybe
February 2nd.
Councilman Pignatelli, since you're the liaison to the environmental, you could reach out to them for suggestions so we could discuss it at the next council meeting.
Sure.
But in the meantime, who
So
did
why
the
don't you
community garden? Was it
table
through the green team?
resolution?
What?
Why
I didn't
don't
get
you
to that
table-
minute. I have a question though. Was the community garden through the green team?
Yes.
So can we pass this resolution to have the green team at least? And then we could figure out what to do. We could always revise it, but at least we have the green team going and they could keep working.
You can always amend the resolution.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an issue with continuation, adopt the resolution, you know,
And we could do something about it at the next meeting.
No,
So
I
maybe
mean, if
Councilman Pignatelli, you could reach out to the Environmental Commission and find out what they think we can, to move forward. Or maybe they know people who are interested. Or if they just want to, if we don't have environmental commissions, would they want to go on to the green team?
I'll do that.
I mean,
Okay, because the
are we
green-
looking to potentially dissolve the environmental commission? I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't know what to do.
Were you saying to Brian? Were you saying to table it? Were you about to say that?
I was saying table it, but if they're in the midst of managing or doing something, you can certainly adopt the resolution. What the governing body creates by ordinance and resolution, it could certainly terminate by ordinance and resolution. So
So I'm suggesting that we do have reestablished the green team, appoint the people so at least they can continue with what they're doing, and we could always adjust it to work with the environmental. That's my suggestion.
Does it make sense to just amend the resolution and appoint them for, let's say, the next 2 months while this gets worked out?
Well, we're appointing them for a year.
No, I understand that, but if there's this thought of merging this all together, it'll get done much quicker.
what would happen, Councilman, what I would envision if we're looking to merge the units and then terminate, let's say, or dissolve the green team as it exists today, we can do that in the future and appoint them as the subcommittee of the environmental committee.
Just so you're aware, everybody on the green team who is on the green team asked to be reappointed. The only people that there are openings for are 2 representatives from the Environmental Commission, which I did not have, a representative from the Board of Health, a representative from the Board of Ed, a representative from the Community of Commerce, a representative from the Shade Tree, and a representative from the Planning Board. Everybody else, all the other members, the actual members, all asked to be reappointed.
That's
They
good.
really want to work. It would be a disservice not to reappoint them.
All right, so we
can't
just,
and we can't reappoint them without reestablishing the green team.
so if we reestablish it, so this could be just a work in progress as you figure out what to do between the 2 commissions then.
Yes, in the meantime, Councilman Pignatelli will get in touch
Okay.
with all the members of the Environmental Commission.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
All right, so is there a motion to reestablish the green team? That's resolution 2137. Anybody? No one wants to reestablish the green team? If you don't want to establish the green team, I'm going to call all these people and tell them that you refuse to reestablish the green team. That's all. All right.
Council. All right, just for everyone's edification, the fact that you didn't pass this resolution this evening doesn't mean it can't be brought up at a future meeting.
I hope it is, because this is a slap in the face to all these volunteers who want to work on the green team for Oakland. That includes the community garden, which they work so hard to get grants for. Okay. All right, ordinances, introduction, amend the traffic ordinance, Monhegan Avenue parking. Is there a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Final hearing is when?
January 27th.
Work session, mailbox replacement policy.
You had the store management ordinance, Mayor?
We're still working on that.
That's adjourned. That's tabled. Not tabled.
Carried.
So 21 Code 820 is carried then?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
My mailbox. Mr.
Okay.
Cummings?
Right. So following up from the discussion that we had in December, when Councilman Knapp raised the issue, we surveyed other towns to see exactly what provisions they had in place, how they handled the issue of mailboxes that are damaged or broken during snowplow operations. And I used a lot of that feedback to come up with policy elements I think that we should put into our own formal policy. And I sent them as part of my overall report. I'll briefly run through them. A lot of these are the ones that seem to be most common and seem to provide for a good structured kind of coherent process and a fair way to address the issue. So first, we would adopt a formal claim form that would include a general release with it. DPW, as kind of they do now, they'll go out and investigate and determine the validity of each claim. In order to be eligible for compensation, the mailbox and post would have to have been secure. If there's some sort of evidence that the post was rotted or not maintained well, that would be cause to deny the claim. Also, installation and placement of the mailbox should meet USPS mailbox guidelines. If you go to the USPS website, there's actual diagrams there and things that say, all right, it should be so far off of the curb and such a height, and the post should be sunk so far in the ground and the like. That was kind of a common element that a lot of other towns use. Compensation would be made for damage caused by either direct contact with borough equipment or by snow thrown off of the plow. The proposed reimbursement amount would be up to $100. So the resident would go out and they would buy the replacement parts, give us the receipt. If it's legitimate, we would process the reimbursement. Interestingly, the feedback that I got, the monetary reimbursements range from like $30 to $150, but $100 seemed to be the most common amount that is in place right now. Okay, if a resident had a much more expensive mailbox, they could turn down the $100. They could file then a tort claim notice with the borough, and it would go through our insurance and be adjudicated that way. Claim should be made within 90 days, and that's also consistent with the filing of a tort claim notice, which has a 90-day clock on it. All right. So that is for your feedback, and whatever that is, we'll put into a formal policy document, and we can adopt something by resolution at the next meeting.
I can tell you from personal experience, my mailbox was knocked over by a truck. I did everything and it cost me $80. My next door neighbor's mailbox was knocked over by a truck, and they're older than me and not able to do that kind of work. And I know it was well over $100. So $100 seems to be reasonable to me.
Question, Mr. Coons?
Yeah.
What happens if it's a mailbox that gets hit on the county road?
Well, we plow the county roadways, so that would be on us.
So it's still going to be on us?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a pass-through to the county?
I don't know whether the county has any sort of a process. My guess is that they're going to say, you're doing it for us under contract, so it's your responsibility, town. The same way we would subrogate if we had used private contractors. So.
Okay, I was just curious if there was a way to call back some of that money from the county in case it happened on a kind of county road. Thank you.
What do we do with mailboxes that are attached to the house next to the front door and it gets hit by a plow?
Hit by a plow?
I would hope that doesn't.
What house would be hit by a plow?
If anybody took me serious, you're all crazy.
Yeah, I would say thank God the house didn't get hit.
But Rich, being the one that asked you to look into this and develop, some sort of plan because of, to some residents' complaints or situations I read about. I'm satisfied with what you did. I appreciate it, and I appreciate how quick it was done as well.
Sure, no problem. So I'll work with Brian then. Brian, I have some samples. Colts Neck in particular has a rather recent one that I thought was pretty good. So if we can kind of take these policy elements and put it into a more formal document, I'll send you over.
We'll put something together.
Okay.
I guess my only question on this is it's on the homeowner to fill out the form and contact us. If the plow takes out a mailbox, it's not like there's a requirement for the person driving the truck to report back to their supervisor, which in turn would inform, Rich to send a notice that, hey, you can fill out this form to get this $100 claim. I mean, because maybe a resident has their mailbox taken out and they're not watching YouTube or following this meeting right now on lovely channel 77. So maybe they don't know. So that's my only thought on looking at this.
Well, the driver might not know either.
Well,
correct.
Right. And that happens sometimes. Let's say it's the middle of the night. You may not know that you hit it. Anthony and I think even Bobby has experienced it. Plowing snow is a rough experience on the body. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of vibration. You may not know that you hit it. Certainly if it's snow that's flying off the plow blade that hits it, you may not know. In cases where we do realize it, I know that the snowplow operators are supposed to report that to DPW. But Grant, to your point as well, when we adopt this, it'll go on the website, it'll go on social media. We can put it in a newsletter and help get the word out to the community.
I mean, I think we should. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I wouldn't fault a driver for not reporting it. But if maybe just inform our drivers that if they did take one out, it's not going to be a knock on them. Nobody's going to be upset at them over it, but they would just report, hey, house 100 on this road. I think I took out the mailbox, then we would follow up. So I don't know if we could add that in there. That would be good.
I just want to say something. Many years ago, my Rotary Club used to deliver turkeys for Thanksgiving and would deliver turkeys on Christmas time for needy families. And we always used to complain because we'd go at night and many houses do not have house numbers. Many houses do not have their lights on. And so these plow drivers, I hear them in the middle of the night. They come around. I give them so much credit for plowing. For them to have to stop and look and think, oh, did I hit that mailbox or not? I think it's up to the homeowner to contact the borough rather than a plow driver having to stop and look to see if there's a house number. If you can identify in the middle of the night without lights on, they don't even know where they are, what number house, what kind of house, what color house. So I think it's very important for the homeowners to be the one to contact the borough. And the plow drivers, I just give them so much credit for being out there and thanking them. Our streets are plowed. They work so hard throughout the night. That's one less thing, one more thing for them to think about. What number of the house did I hit that mailbox?
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's just a thought.
No, thank you. Appreciate that.
And Grant, I'm sure that they do, and I'm sure that Anthony tells them to do that. I will follow up with him. He can always send out another directive to make sure of that and to reinforce it.
Okay, what is the investigate the validity of each claim exactly? Like, what does that mean? Will we hash that out and be more specific, or will we keep it pretty open to the person investigating to determine? Because if somebody had a mailbox that's worth $10 that was hanging on by some rubber bands and chewing gum, and then somebody else could have a mailbox worth $1,000. I don't know.
Right. So let me give you, I think, a rather clear, for instance, right? We hit something, or the snow takes it out, and we look, and the post is rotted at grade. Okay, half of it's been eaten away by termites or something like that. All right, that would give us cause to say, you know what, that was failure to maintain on the resident's part rather than anything on the borough's part. If the mailbox is held to the post by zip ties rather than secured by screws, something like that. In my experience, we don't really turn down a lot of these claims.
Okay.
I think it would have to kind of be clear and convincing that it was loose in the ground, or or being held on by paper clips or something like that.
Fair enough. I just wanted to bring, I don't know how specific we're going to want to be when we come up with this to vote, or keep it general. Put the onus on the person investigating.
I think the language will basically state that it should be, secure in the ground, and that the mailbox should have been securely fastened to the post.
Sure.
Okay.
Those are all my input.
Okay.
I missed the last meeting when it was brought up, so maybe I had a little more questions.
Yeah, no, sure. Okay, the other issue for you tonight is one kind of emerging statewide significance. There is a bill S3095 that would kind of do one of two things. It would kind of fundamentally alter some things with construction code and inspections, one by either requiring a town to offer an expedited inspection where residents would be able to pay an extra fee to get expedited inspections, or alternatively, if towns decide not to do that, residents would be able to go out and secure their own third-party private agency that would have to be licensed by the state to do the inspection on that kind of expedited time frame. The law as written has a lot of questions to it. This seemed to kind of come out of nowhere. There wasn't a lot of advance notice on this. And it brings up a host of issues regarding, equity amongst homeowners, whether or not it would result in the loss of revenue for the borough or increased cost to the general public as opposed to the applicant, and kind of gets to the basic functioning of the municipal construction office. So what we would like to do is have you go on record opposing this legislation as drafted, have it go back. From what I understand, there's some dialogue happening between the league and some of the professional associations.
Can I say something on that? I'm on the committee at the league that talks about legislation.
Yeah.
And at the last meeting, and now we're meeting virtually, I had to drive down to Princeton. It's very nice that we're meeting virtually. I don't have to drive down to Princeton, but the problem is, and I'm talking as a real estate attorney, when you get your house inspected for a closing, you want the municipality to inspect it. The buyer wants the municipality inspected to make sure they follow all the rules. This allows for private inspectors. Anybody could pay off it. And it's also a conflict because all these inspection agencies are now maybe find some things. The league is so opposed to this. It just opens up such a can of worms. And you're right, it is so unfair because somebody who has a lot of money and just wants to expedite it or get their own inspector to inspect. Forget about the fines that we're not going to, the fees for the borough. That's one issue. But just the fairness and just to protect the people who are buying a house, you want somebody who is in the municipality to make sure all the rules and regulations of that municipality are followed. So I personally, and like I said, the league, with everybody at the league, no one said, "Oh, this is a good idea." Everybody was opposed to it.
And I thought I read in the rule that the borough would have to collect the fee for this third party and then turn it over to them. So we'd be a collecting agency for a third party.
But we could collect an administrative fee for doing that.
What would happen is a portion of the fee would get returned to the homeowner. We could keep a certain share for administrative processing costs. There's nothing in the law as far as how that is determined. And yeah, it opens up a whole set of issues regarding accountability. You have an inspector that's ostensibly chosen by a homeowner, but is still supposed to be responsible to the local enforcing agency. So it needs a lot more consideration.
I don't think it protects the buyer; it just protects the seller.
And
what do we just need a motion to put forward to oppose this?
Yeah, we have a draft resolution. We would have a resolution on for adoption at the next meeting.
Just one quick question, Mr. Kroons. Who's behind this? And why is this being pushed? And obviously there's got to be some kind of, this is New Jersey. Somebody's making money off of this. Do we know what the story is?
Probably inspectors.
From what I hear, building trade groups.
Yeah, building inspectors.
Is part of the issue that they're trying to do this because there aren't enough inspectors, that things take too long, that people want to move construction on, you're redoing, you're putting an addition on your house and things could take forever. I mean, I think things are good here in Oakland, but I mean, I hear horror stories from friends and relatives and extended family members in other towns in New Jersey that it's a nightmare and these things take forever. So maybe that's part of why this is going on. Maybe in the current form, S3095 isn't correct, but as far as to me, the interesting part of this is the premium you could pay for expediting, and I think maybe that is a problem some places.
I just think it's a problem having private inspectors, that you could pick your own inspector. I think that's a conflict. You're picking your inspector to inspect your house, to give a C of O for somebody else to move in.
Exactly.
Well, and what's interesting about it is the longer time frame usually happens with the plan review. Okay, construction offices are given 20 business days, or I'm sorry, maybe 20 calendar days to do plan review. Right? By regulation, the inspections are supposed to be done within 3 business days of being called for. All right. They're looking to put that into law. This legislation doesn't affect the amount of time it may take for plan review, or if you have to go through the land use approval process or anything like that. It is very kind of narrowly focused on the inspection process. And for all I know, there may have been some issues in certain jurisdictions that were brought to the attention of legislators, and that's what triggered this. I really don't know.
So I guess the issue, the problem they're trying to fix with this is to move the process along faster by using private parties. Is that it in a nutshell?
I don't think it's to move it faster. I think it's to use private parties.
But you have to pay a premium to do this. It's
to move it faster.
Right. So are we talking about 2 separate things or one thing? Because I'm reading this memo. I read the memo here. To me, it seems like it's 2 things.
It is 2 things. The law allows. Exactly.
And the league is so close.
I personally, I think it's a good idea to pay a premium to expedite it. That part of it makes sense to me, at least.
Only if you have the people, and that's where you're going to run into the problem.
I think
right. So let's play this out where everybody wants to pay the extra $100.
Right.
Right.
It's like Fast Pass at Disney.
You're going to need another inspector. You're going to need more hours devoted, and that's not easy to do. And all of a sudden, everybody is expecting something in half the time.
Just from a contractor's perspective, I have a hard enough time doing the same job in 3 different towns, and I have to do it different because I have 3 different inspectors. And now I'm going to have to do the same job in the same town 3 different ways because I'm going to have 3 different inspectors, and it's going to make it difficult for me as a contractor. Because there's different ways to interpret rules, and it's bad enough I have to deal with 1 inspector. Now I'm going to have to deal with these boutique inspectors. So
I just fear for the buyer of a house. I don't think I just think there's a big conflict.
I support opposing it, whatever has to move this thing forward one way or another.
I call the motion.
Well,
but it's not a motion. It's just to put on the next council meeting as a resolution.
Yep, exactly. So we'll have a resolution on the next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is crossed off. So, new business.
Could we have, I almost would like somebody to come and explain it to us who's working very closely with this.
Did you read the actual bill?
Yeah, I read the whole thing, and that's why, to me, I understood it's really 2 separate things. One of the 2 things I thought was a good idea, but I could see after listening to Councilman Talamini and others comment how this could get complicated. So we have good discussion, but yeah.
And you know what? Whenever I receive additional information on this, I'll also make sure to pass it along. as I said, I know the league is working with my professional association, the professional associations for construction officials and building officials and the like, as well, trying to engage the legislators.
And at the league meeting, which comprises of so many of us from all over the state, from different areas, not one person thought this was a good idea. So,
Well, you've also got District 36, Bergen Passaic here. I mean, if we had to reach out to these guys and ask them what it's all about.
I'm talking about South Jersey. That's where it really comes from. Anyway, any new business? Old business?
I have new business, Mayor.
Go ahead.
And I have old business.
And
So
I'm
we'll
older
start
than you.
with new
so I
business.
go
That's first.
All right. So, as pretty much everybody on this dais, this virtual dais, is aware, I will be resigning from the council effective February 2nd. So next council meeting, January 27th, will be my final meeting. It's a very bittersweet moment for me. However, it has to do with, when COVID hit, I was the director of operations for a limousine company, and then that got all dissolved up. And I have since taken on a position of a director of field operations for Spectrum, for another cable company. However, the part of the position is I have to relocate to Hudson Valley, New York. So I will be moving out of town. So I forwarded my official resignation, to the mayor, the administrator, the clerk, the attorney, and council president last night. And I just felt it was something I should let everyone know publicly. And not the way I wanted to leave, but it's unfortunate. And I'll talk more at the next meeting.
We all knew this was coming. We will hope it wasn't coming. But you know what, Bobby? I wish you the best of luck in your new job. I'm very happy for you. Very sad for the borough of Oakland. Very sad for us. But I'm happy for you and Andrea.
Thank you.
Good luck, Bob. Good luck.
Kudos, Bob. That's. I wish you the very best. You and Andrea deserve the best. You've been a very fond member of the council, and you've been a servant of the town for 40 years or so, right? And
this is 39, yeah.
And it's been all your demeanor, your professionalism. When you were fire chief, as a council member, I've had I could say nothing but good things about the way you've handled yourself and all of your appointed duties in any designated position you've had in town. So I commend you for your work. I wish you the very best in your future, both you and Andrea. Expect me to come and visit. I want to see what the Hudson Valley is all about. And I wish you the very best again. Thank you.
And when we can be in person, we will have a celebration for you.
Well, I actually hope you never go in person, because I can always, zoom into these meetings.
That's true.
But
you give the 2 cents.
I'll only be an hour away. I'm not that far, so I'll be around town. But unfortunately, I can't be connected the way I am now. So
we will miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bob.
Now, all business.
Okay. Did somebody else have it, or is it just me?
It was you.
I have some.
Oh, I saw his green.
Yeah, but if you could go, Grant.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for your service, Councilman Knapp. It's been great working with you and learning from you. The old business I wanted to discuss is we had a complaint, a series of complaints in December and at the end of 2020 about connectivity. We had some people join the meeting, some businesses from Copper Tree join the meeting and talk about this. So the borough wanted to follow up on it, and as a liaison to the OCC, was involved in this meeting. Councilman Knapp was on it, and the mayor and Rich, with a number of representatives from Altice, or Optimum as others know it. full disclosure, I have Optimum at my own home, so I dealt with some of this personally. So it was a great meeting, very productive. We worked through a lot of things. So just to explain, in March of 2020, there was an executive order 126, and it stated that nobody could be cut off for delinquent payments, that no internet service could be shut off for anybody. So that created some challenges for Altice in delivering the service, and then also everybody went to work from home, as they explained, which boosted the usage. And then they mentioned something about like bandwidth hogs and people who use essentially a commercial level of internet, although they're residential or using residential products. The other thing that they encouraged all residents, and I encourage everyone to do this, is like during the day. So if you're using internet for school or for work, now most people like to be more fluid in the home or the home office, but if you can connect directly in and you're not pulling down as much wireless, that also helps the overall community and for you in your own home with getting better and faster internet speeds. So one of the things that we will follow up with Altice on is that they do have this very positive program called Altice Advantage, and there is a number of households who take advantage of this. And this is a request from the FCC that all internet providers in the country provide internet to every student because of the remote learning. And that is one of the things they're providing. And, so that was, again, productive meeting. That's some information. I don't know if Councilman Knapp wants to chime in about any of the technical issues of how they worked through some of the static and the noise on the system and then divert it, and why they had challenges doing that. Councilman Knapp, if you have anything to add.
Councilman, thank you for not saying I should explain that.
It's it gets technical, but there is noise, which is not noise in your ear. It's ingress or interference, and sometimes it is difficult to track down, and that's why you can have pockets, certain sections of towns that are absolutely not affected by any of the issues, and then you can have other pockets if people are off of different nodes. If you have a bandwidth hog, which is a lot of that is gamers, they suck down bandwidth tremendously, or if you have somebody with a lot of ingress or noise in their node, that will affect those people within that node. Typically, that's 500 homes, and it could be they could split the node and make it bring it down to 250. So, at one point there's a dividing line. So it could be I'm at node 1A, let's say, and Russ is at node 1B, and we live right next door to each other. And 1B could be saturated with gamers and people with equipment that's causing ingress and noise, and Russ's service is horrible. And I'm in 1A, and I don't have that, and my service is perfect, and we live right next door to each other. So that's where it gets a little confusing to the public. A lot of it has to do with the amount of devices that people have now. You go to houses, they're all wireless. There's 5, 6, 7 phones. There's 3 iPads. There's a doorbell. There's a Wi-Fi microwave. You could talk to your vacuum now. I mean, all this stuff uses bandwidth, and a lot of it is not made well and puts interference back out into the grid. So there's a lot to it. What Grant was saying is the recommendation to if you have the opportunity, if you're paying, for example, for 200 megabit download speed, that one, it's not guaranteed. It's up to that number, but 2, that's wired. So if you're on a wireless laptop, like most of us probably are right now, you're not going to get 200. You could be sitting right next to it. You're not going to get 200. You'll be lucky if you get 100. That's how wireless works. It travels through the air. There's a lot of interference. The true speed that you subscribe to, whether it's 200 or whether you're a gig customer, whatever it may be, is based off of hardwired. Speedtest.net, is the best place to go. Check your speeds, but it's hardwired, and so don't expect to get flying speeds on a cell phone, on an iPad, or a wireless laptop. And then also for continuity reasons, a lot of times we're on these Zoom calls, you see people pixelating and herky jerky and what have you. A lot of that could be also wireless interference. So if you're going to be on something important, work and or school, you should wire yourself directly to the modem with an Ethernet cable, or to the router with an Ethernet cable, if at all possible. So I don't want to bore people with more technical stuff.
No, that was all great. Thank you, Councilman Knapp, and thanks for being a part of that call. I plan on getting some information following up with Altice, getting some FAQs out in an upcoming OCC newsletter, some information into the community. We discussed on the call, and I could work with Councilman Bialy, maybe doing a program or a seminar or workshop for the seniors in town, because a lot of these issues, the placement, to your points, Councilman Knapp, the placement of your modem, how your wireless router is connected or hooked up and placed in your home. I mean, all these things you can improve to improve your overall speeds as well. And we'll follow up on that. So that's my old business. Thank you, Mayor.
And I told Grant, I told Rick that, even though I'm leaving the council and leaving the borough, I'd still stay on, kind of jump on those meetings with you to support the borough. So you have somebody there so they won't snowball you.
Yeah, they knew you.
Of course they knew me. I worked there for 20
It was a big deal.
He recognized you. He was very careful.
I also learned that Councilman Knapp is a better golfer than the individual from Maltese.
Yeah, that's a complete lie.
So now we have, is that all under, tell me.
Yes, that's one. I was just wondering about the homes on Lenape Lane. Are we moving along with purchasing them? Are we, what's the status there?
Brian, you're on mute.
No, I'll take that, Mayor. I know Aaron Sella has been getting back contracts.
Aaron Sella is from the Land Conservancy.
From Land Conservancy, right. Has been getting back contracts from the folks that were in phase 3. I actually have it on my list to call him and see if we have all of them in, and we can start getting proposals for the due diligence work that we need to do. That's the title work, the phase 1 environmental assessments, and the surveys. That's the next step.
Okay, so I mean, we haven't officially purchased anything yet on Lenape, or
no.
Okay.
We've assisted with some contracts. The Conservancy is, I guess, finalizing and following up. Once that's done, we go through the process to close.
All right, and I mean, is there any time frame? Do we have any idea?
Not sure of the time frame. I guess we'll find out when Rich reaches out to Aaron, because he runs with the contracts and then provides them to us.
Yeah, usually the due diligence stuff probably takes a couple of months, and then we go to closing, assuming that there's no issues there. So I would think some of this can be spring, summer. You're probably looking at closings. That's probably realistic.
Okay, I mean, but we're moving along, right? We're not. I don't want to be. It's like we're dragging our feet. I mean, if it's the.
Well,
Okay.
Mr. Bartlett will make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, contracts have been sent out to all the phase 3 properties.
Just a quick question. Are we still working on taking the other houses down all the way down by the park?
Yes, you'll see the bid going out so that those can come down this spring.
They're coming down this spring. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other old business? So before we do the council committee reports, if you want to respond to anybody who spoke during the open portion, this would be the time. Also, you can remind them to call you or contact you. And I'm going to address Rachel Gregory when I left the meeting. She does not know why I left the meeting. It was for a very extremely personal reason. And if she contacts me, I will tell her. I am not going to announce the personal reason in public. As far as the planning board, Councilman Beck? We're gonna miss you. I told them today that I heard a rumor that you're not coming back on the planning board, and they were very upset. You had such good insight, and you asked such great questions. So I just want you to know we are going to miss you on the planning board.
Thank you. It was a good
Okay,
experience.
with that, council committee reports. Do you want to start? Since it's quiet over there now?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. First off, of course, echo from earlier in the meeting, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you're off to a great 2021. The first report I will make is the Shade Tree Commission, and it's great to be continuing with that. I stepped up after Councilman Levy had resigned for serving this role, and I've been slowly getting up to speed. We are very close to introducing the ordinance at an upcoming meeting, and I hope we can have that on the agenda either the next meeting or the meeting after. I believe February. I would like to bring in the chairman to make a presentation. We've got some great ideas on how we can replace the hundreds of trees, not exaggerating, hundreds of trees that have gone down in our town and have not been replaced. And we want to have a program where we can put those on public property, then adopt a tree, and even great ideas about landscaping companies and tree companies who would be interested in sponsoring a tree and caring for it, especially for the first 2 years, keeping the water filled. I mean, that's really important for a tree to make it. This exciting program could help beautify our town and bring the canopy back in Oakland where it needs to be. Not even mentioning the countless gallons of water that the trees will soak up, which cuts down on erosion, savings to our community in the long run. So it's all very exciting, and we're working on bringing that all together. And I'm looking forward to having that presentation at a future council meeting, so we can all hear about this and see it and get the information out to our residents. There's towns like Florham Park that we look to that have some interesting ordinances and programs like this. My next report is, and I mentioned that we are looking to a contract forester, and we had a meeting about that on Tuesday, I believe, the day after the Optima meeting. So we are looking to give better service and more timely service to our residents by having a forester who can come and look at these trees. Right now, we rely on volunteers, and we're grateful to our volunteers, but we need to provide the best and most effective service to our residents. So OCC, as you heard earlier in the meeting, we are looking for volunteers. We have 2 positions that are open, and we're always looking to fill the committees. So if maybe you're interested in getting involved, maybe not for a commission spot right away, but you want to learn a little bit about what we're doing. It's a great commission, great people. We meet every other month because that could be advantageous to those of you out there who are interested. So television, bulletin board, newsletter. We're always looking for content and contributions. vanek@oakland-nj.org. Email me if you want to get involved. Still working on the removal of old equipment, and we're scheduling the TV control room upgrade commencement tomorrow. Should be completed by the end of February, and the TV committee anticipates that viewers will likely see some minor interruptions over the next 2 or 3 months. But if there's a major disruption, like if we can't broadcast like this meeting, for instance, we'll inform the public ahead of time. So you'll know about that. And if you ever have any questions or you have issues on your end, always contact us and we'll follow up. The Oakland TV wants to hear from our local musicians. So if there is some music that you've composed, if you have original music, we will make it the background. I'm hoping to get more. I think this is a wonderful idea. There's got to be students and talented musicians and artists out there in our community who could participate in this new program. So please contact me if you have some of this music, and we will play it as the background. It's a great way to get your music out there. And then we had a meeting that was scheduled on January 11th, but due to the fact that we couldn't have a quorum with different members up for reappointment, which we did today at the meeting, we will be scheduled for this coming Tuesday, January 19th, It's my baby brother's birthday, so I'm going to miss the meeting, and I'm very sad about that. But, it's got to work for the most people, and he is turning 30. I don't know what that makes me. But anyway, Rec Commission, baseball and softball signups have begun. The next coaches Rutgers safety course is January 29th. Stress that it's very important that you pre-register for the Rutgers safety course for coaches. The basketball signups are going to be up till January 22nd. And if you ever have any questions, great commission, great commissioners, glad to be staying on there, oaklandrec.org, or you could email me at vanek@oakland-nj.org. Thank you, Mayor. That's my report.
Thank you. Who wants to go next? Well, Councilman Talmini, you're on top.
Okay.
I'm looking by where everybody is. It's hard to find everybody.
Just let me say thank you to Councilman Knapp again for your service. It's really anyone who takes the time to sit up here. I really just thank you. It's a difficult thing to do. Sit up here being a councilman, making decisions, and more people should do it. And we didn't always agree. We had a couple arguments, but we always came out on the right side of things. And I was happy to serve with you, and good luck with your future endeavors.
Thank you. Make sure you replace me with somebody good.
We're working on that. All right. I'll give a report on the library. The library meets tomorrow, so I think Councilman Kamala, your library. So you'll have to give that report next week, next meeting, and then the schools, the elementary schools are meeting virtually right now. They're scheduled to go in person on January 25th. Fingers crossed. And then the high schools are it changes. Indian Hills has been pretty much open. Ramapo has been closed a couple of times. I don't want to give you any dates because I'm not sure of them, but it's been very fluid. So just make sure you keep in touch with your school system, and you'll know what's going on with all the phone calls and the Zooms and the emails. You'll know before I tell you. And then finance, I'm happy that I'll be the chair for the finance committee again. It's been great working with Mr. Young and Mr. Coons. It's nice to have a little continuity, but I would just say this is my second year as the chairman. I think we should have someone else be the chair next year. Only because we want everyone on the council to be able to do the different parts. I think the more that we move around with our appointments, the better off we'll be able to serve the town. We might not be comfortable someplace, but you pick up the ropes, and we have the professionals there to help us. Because I'm far from an accountant, and but Mr. Young and Mr. Coons do a great job, and I just give them my 2 cents, and we go from there. So, but I've really enjoyed being on finance. But this is my last year as chair. All right. So, but I have enjoyed it, and then I just want to mention about the sewer meetings that we were having. I feel bad that they feel that they don't want to meet with us anymore. Maybe they feel that they'll get more results in person with at the council meetings. I'm not sure. I was kind of feeling good about the last meeting. I thought we had some sort of understanding, but that's if we didn't, we didn't. And I apologize for anything that I did to hinder the process. And I hope that going forward we can figure out what we could do to make both sides happy. You know, compromise is when both sides aren't happy. You know, you meet in the middle, and you know, oh, I wish I got this, and then I wish I got that. You know, you can't get everything you want. So, but really, I'm sorry about the meetings not working out the way we all hoped they would. But we'll figure out something in the future, I'm sure. And just Happy New Year to everyone, and let's hope we have a good 2021. And remember, smiles are free. Thank you.
You said that last time. That was great. I still remember that.
Yes.
Especially behind the mask.
Yes.
All right. So we'll go to the second row. Councilor Bialy.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you so much. Disappointed that I'll be giving my last report on the senior center. Hopefully, Councilman Pignatelli will pick up on that. I was dismayed and a little bit disappointed about how the appointments were made. I was given a call by the council president on Sunday. He asked me what I'd like to be doing. I told him I'd like to stay where I am, whatever I'm doing. And turns out today he calls me back, and I was moved around, and I was taken off this one, taken off that one. I mean, I've only been on the council 12 years, and I'm the senior member of the council, and it didn't mean anything. And I just feel like the appointments were made to everyone else's request, and I didn't get that. So I'm just, and I feel kind of, you know, this afternoon, Councilman Kamala said he was going to take the chair for the water and sewer, and I was going to be the co-chair, and I told him that would work because he was the last appointed chairman of the water and sewer. I was never, just to let all the water and sewer people know, I've never been the chair. I've always been the co-chair, and I assumed the position when the last chair resigned from the council. So I just want to let you know, and I do feel, as Russ said, I thought we were making some inroads with our meetings. And now I'm not the chair of anything right now. And it just seems to me, I thought that was one of the points of being on the council, to have a chair. I look forward to working with Grant on the DPW. We have some projects that I've started. I've been working on for 5 years, some of them, and hopefully they'll be coming to fruition. But I'll be missing my senior people and working with them. I'll still be with the DPW. And I just feel sad about the water and sewer thing. And, you know, I know Eric gave it to Bob, and now we know Bob is leaving. So I feel, for the water and sewer people, I feel like they're being mistreated a little bit here by having somebody chair the committee that will not have any experience whatsoever. And, you know, I'm going to offer myself up. If you want me to take the chair of that, I will, even though what I found out was nobody else on the council wanted to be near the water and sewer committee. But I am willing to take the shot and try to work these things out. And I know that the angst that all the people on the water and sewer have, the 235 residents. And I really want to see this work out for everybody. And I'd really like to see that $100,000 be replaced. So if that works for everyone, I'll volunteer to take the chair, so I have a chair, since I don't have one. And I look forward to, if that works, I look forward to making that work and taking, you know what they say, when you get a lemon, you make lemonade out of it. And that's what I think I want to do. I don't shy away from anything. Challenges are good for me. It gives me a little effort to get more involved even. And as the temporary chair for a while there, I understand there's a need for somebody to be caring about what's going on. So if that works, I'll be glad to do it. But My senior report, the senior center. I just want to say something about the senior center. It's been closed all week. We had one of the employees at the center test positive, and because of COVID, CDC protocol, everyone was in the quarantine area, so everyone's been working remotely from home. The senior center's been closed this week, but I think the quarantine period will be up on Tuesday when we come back after a Monday holiday. So everything will go back to normal. Senior Center continues to run on winter hours through February 26, 2021. The center will be open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We continue to offer a mix of in-person, Zoom only, and hybrid programs as indicated on the calendar. If anyone would like to attend an in-person class, they are asked to call or email the Senior Center to register. If they would like to be added to our mailing list to receive the Zoom links for online classes, they can reach out to 201-405-7731 or seniors@oakland-nj.org. All in-person classes are being held inside the Senior Center, obviously not this week, in accordance with the CDC and Department of Health guidelines for fitness facilities. The monthly book club has returned to the Senior Center. We're holding a hybrid format, which is available both in person and at the Senior Center and on Zoom. Books are now available to pick up at the center or delivered to your home through our Books to Go program. The next meeting is Wednesday, January 20th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Please call the Senior Center to reserve your space. Line dancing start date has been postponed indefinitely pending the availability of an instructor. Senior Center has iPads available to borrow that can be used for things from telehealth med appointments, email, internet searches, games, and video calling with family and friends. They're available to Senior Center members for use within the center only. Help is available for those who don't know how to use them, and just call or visit the office for more information. For a game of pool, or our pool table and accessories are ready, maximum 2 players at a time. Please call to reserve a time to find a partner to play with. Senior Center shopping bus continues and is open to residents 55 plus. We offer door-to-door transportation to ShopRite weekly and alternate locations within Oakland by appointment. A flyer with the information is available on the Oakland website and at the Senior Center for pickup. And in cooperation with the library, we continue to offer the Books to Go to homebound Oakland seniors and members of the community with disabilities. Books to Go is a book and media delivery program where we will drop off your rentals right to your house weekly and pick them up, your returns. Book and delivery returns will be held weekly on Tuesdays by the Senior Center bus. Those interested are asked to call the library at 201-337-3742. Storm drains, DPW report. Beginning January 19th and continuing through the end of February, residents may notice Public Works employees inspecting storm drains throughout our entire borough. During this time, our staff will inspect more than 2,400 catch basins and stormwater outflow areas as part of the NJDEP pollution prevention plan. A list of locations that will require cleaning and or maintenance will be developed as a result of these inspections, and that work will be completed as needed. Christmas trees. DPW will continue to collect Christmas trees placed curbside throughout the end of January. Residents are asked to remove the tree stand, the lighting, and all decorations before the tree is placed out for removal. Wreaths will not be collected as they are constructed with wire and cannot be composted. Street lighting. With the help of the DPW and the police department, it's a list of poorly lit areas and intersections they feel will benefit from the installation of the LED street light fixtures. Upon completion, this list will be, I think it has already been sent to Rockland Electric, who will upgrade 17 of our existing fixtures free of charge as part of their LED street lighting upgrade program. The list will be submitted. It has been submitted to Rockland, and we expect that work will be completed before the end of April of that year. Bobby, thank you very much for your service again. God bless you and Andrea and on your future endeavors. in the state of New York. Can you imagine I'm saying that about you, Bob?
No.
Let's start talking like me, Bobby.
No, I'll never do that.
Okay.
Being
All
from
right,
New
thank you.
York.
Different area
you.
of New York.
I don't understand, Councilman Bialy. When you called me this afternoon, you were going on the planning board. So I called everybody on the planning board. They were so excited.
I was on the planning board. I called members of the planning board, told them I was on it. Then I got a call that I wasn't on it. So
Yeah.
it's not been a very smooth road for me today. It's been a little anxious, and well, I'm here to serve the residents and nobody else.
Got it. Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First, I have a message from our Flood Commission chairperson, Lou Levy, that I'd like to read. The Oakland Flood Commission is sad to report the passing of our longtime secretary and friend, Lois Smid, this past December. Lois and her husband, Tony, have been involved with the Flood Commission for many years. The commission relied on Lois for so much over the past 18 years or so. Imagining it without her will certainly be difficult. She was one of those wonderful people that touch our lives and will be sorely missed. I know all of our sympathies go out to Tony and the Smid family. Signed, Lou Levy, Chairman, Oakland Flood Commission. And I just have to echo what Lou said. I've been in touch with the Flood Commission a couple times over the past 15 years. And she was just such a wonderful, cheerful person. And she definitely will be missed by many, many, many people. And Bob, thank you again for your service. Bob, you brought forward some initiatives that were really beneficial to the town. You used your expertise and your assets to help us, and you're certainly going to be missed. Thank you so much for your service.
Thanks, Pat.
Let me see. The next Board of Health meeting is going to be January the 19th. Again, I'd like to encourage everyone, when you're eligible to get the vaccination, please get it. Everyone said wearing a mask not only helped you, but it helped other people. Well, getting the vaccination is going to be the same thing. I went for my first vaccination 2 weeks ago, and let me tell you, I've had mosquito bites that hurt a lot more than the injection that I got. Absolutely no side effect afterward. Absolutely zero. So the governor announced today that people over 65 can get the shot. And as the mayor said in the beginning of the meeting, please sign up and reserve the vaccination. It's extremely important. Once you reserve it, you'll have it when it is time for you to get your shot. As the mayor said, also, we need volunteers for the Environmental Commission. If you're interested in the environment, and I know many, many, many people are, if you're interested in the environment, they could use your expertise. We need people to step forward. It is very difficult. My hat's off to every volunteer that the borough has. And let me tell you, being in municipal government for almost 40 years, volunteers is the backbone of the community. And they help us in so many, many ways in keeping the costs down in government. And, you have expertise that can be shared. Share your talents with us, and it certainly will be appreciated. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kamala.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody.
I'm saving Bobby for last.
Bob, I'm not going to say goodbye to you today because you're still here for one more meeting. So I'll wait till next Wednesday on that. Also, I just want to address Councilman Bialy. I want to thank you, Mr. Bialy, for stepping up to be the chair of the Water and Sewer. So I will make that change. I'm going to move you up, and I'm going to, now that Mr. Knapp is leaving, I'm going to put him down into intergovernmental. Okay. That's very much appreciated. You and I had talking about this extensively over the last couple of days. So thank you. And it's certainly, John, you have all the expertise in dealing with this from where we got to, from where we are today. So it's extremely important for that continuity.
Thank you.
You're welcome, John. Thank you. Thank you for stepping up. The only thing I have is I look forward to a very successful 2021, and my report is very brief, and I'll have something to report next meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Bobby. Councilman Knapp.
You're muted, Bob.
You
Also,
also
what happens
very,
to the
very
light?
bright light.
Comes your lighting.
Oh, wow.
Your light is too bright.
I had to switch rooms.
All we can see is your mouth opening.
All right, hold on. That's the best you're gonna get for now.
Okay.
All right.
Keep your head right there. You're right in
look
front
like
of the light.
Look like a ghost with a halo.
The transfiguration of Councilman Knapp.
Satan.
Ghostbuster.
Great Oak Park. Not much to report. Mike Guardino wanted me to tell everyone that the park accessibility for the winter, as always happens, the Doty Road gates are closed and will remain closed. That happens after the first snow. It's to prevent the impervious surface from being ripped up from the snow to thaw the wet surface, etc. The new entrance behind Portobello's, which is off of 202, kind of opposite the old entrance to Burger King, not cutting through Portobello's. The new entrance will remain open, however, it will not be snowplowed. Public safety. I typically give my main public safety meeting at the second meeting of each month, and I plan on doing that next month. It'll be I like to give the statistics of what each department did for the previous month, so I give them time to gather their facts. This time I will be presenting not only December's statistics, but the 2020 statistics and the year-end report for everyone. But I do have something from the Chief of Police that he'd like me to read. It's a resident message for tonight's council meeting. Due to the recent increase of motor vehicle thefts and vehicle burglaries in Bergen County, the Oakland Police Department would like to remind all residents to lock their vehicles while they are parked in their driveways, keep valuables out of sight or bring them into your home, and keep your key fob, remote, or keys into your home. Please take these steps to ensure you are not a victim of a crime. Other tips to protect yourself and your family and your property are to install an interactive video doorbell, install a security system, install a camera surveillance system, install motion sensing lights. And I can tell you firsthand that in, I think it was July, I watched on my surveillance cameras I have on the outside of my house, I watched a car stop in front of my house, somebody run out of it and break into my truck and try to break into my wife's vehicle. Hers was locked, mine wasn't, so there you go. If you warm up your vehicle during cold winter mornings, make sure your vehicle cannot be shifted into drive and stolen while idling. There have been instances in Bergen County where criminals drive around early in the morning hours looking for vehicles that are running, and they steal them for obvious reasons. Always contact the Oakland Police Department at 201-337-6171 for non-emergency issues and if you see anything suspicious. In addition to this, residential burglaries are on the rise in Bergen County as well. Most recently, break-ins were reported in Franklin Lakes and Wyckoff. Criminals are smashing out rear windows and glass doors, kicking in doors, heading directly to the master bedrooms, taking cash and jewelry. No burglaries were reported in Oakland. However, following the above tips will protect you and your property against vehicle thefts, vehicle burglaries, and home burglaries. Signed, Chief Sanzari. So another motion lights are huge. You go in my backyard, it lights up like Yankee Stadium at night, and then they shut off in 5 minutes, and once the motion stops. So it's wise advice from the chief. So that's the end of my report for tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll wait till next meeting to talk to you. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to open to the public comment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Michael, remember timer.
Here we go.
Aye.
Okay, if you're a member of the public and you wish to provide public comment, again, raise your hand icon or star 9 on a mobile phone. Mayor Katrine Beck.
Good evening. I just wanted to make a
You have to
comment.
give your address again. I'm sorry.
Mayor, you should know it by heart by now.
I know it
Chapel
by
Hill.
heart, but the world doesn't know it by heart.
Let the world know it's 8 Chapel Hill Road, Oakland, New Jersey, 07436. I wanted to make a comment, and I applaud Councilman Bialy to say that he would like to work with the group. This group is united. That's the STP sewer group. We're not going anywhere. We would like to be, not treated as a hot potato from councilman to councilman who doesn't want to deal with us. So I applaud you, Councilman Bialy, to actually say you want to work with us. I'm happy to hear that you also agree that the fine of $421 should not be taxed to us. So I applaud you for that, and I look forward to working with you on that, and I welcome it. But also let's remember that the fine of $421 is not the be-all end-all of what needs to be resolved here. That's just part of it that I think we all can agree is not fair to put on the residents. But really the solution needs to be focused on finding funding and some kind of grants with respect to the 5.5 million that we're looking at. And so, I really would welcome that we continue those discussions. Let's not try to hide away or run away or not answer emails or twist words as to what's said. I think everybody walked away initially thinking that they had hope and we were going to engage in discussions. The second meeting didn't go that way. And if people have different perceptions as to what's being said or not, then just open it up. Let's have a Zoom call, 235 people, have the 5 of you have discussions with the 5 of the other people who met, and let everybody hear for themselves. I mean, transparency should be key here. But I also want to applaud Councilman Van Eck, Councilman Kumala, and Councilman Knapp for actually asking questions during this meeting and not rubber stamping things with the resolutions. It's really nice to see you have some spirited discussions. I applaud you, and maybe I can say to Councilman Knapp, thank you for your service, and I hope that you can do us a solid on your way out and help the sewer and water people to really find some solution here. But seriously, thank you for your service. I know it's not easy to be dealing with residents and dealing with issues, but really, we would really welcome for 2021 solutions and meaningful engagement.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But
Thank you.
Just so you're aware, I just spent $41,000 to put a new septic in my house, so that wasn't pleasant either.
All right, thank you. Next, Michael.
Next up is Benjamin Wagman.
Hello. Hi.
We hear you.
Guys. Okay, you can hear me. Good. Okay. I'm Benjamin Wagman, 10 Mountain Lakes Road, Oakland. One of the rare addresses for the rare 235 out of the over 4,000 residents here. So I'm going to echo to a degree what Ms. Beck said. You guys know me. I've been at the meetings, and I've been present here for the entire meeting this evening. And as much as disheartened as you are, I know Councilman Talamini expressed it, and Mayor Schwager and Councilman Bialy regarding our last meeting. You have to put things into perspective, and you always have to look at things when, on the other side. You got to put the shoe on the other foot. Okay, in order to really get an understanding of what's going on and why we're coming at you with what we're saying here. The fact that you're kind of shocked and you thought otherwise, well, this is why we're here. Keep in mind something, and I'm speaking mostly here to Mayor Schwager. From the beginning, from last November when we first met, the idea of mentioning at a certain point the $421,000 fines, your response was, don't worry about it. That's what your response was. And that response was echoed when we first met the representatives and the council, okay, in our first meeting. And then the second meeting, it all changed for the reasons I stated at the beginning of this meeting. And you have to understand that, because what changed is it's not happening. The 421 isn't going away. So again, this comes down to trust. It comes down to transparency. And like Mrs. Beck said, Mr. Bialy, I commend you on what you said tonight. But I know things have been said a lot regarding the sewer issues. But I really hope it's not just political lip service, that it's real. And when I say real, in my opinion, and in those that I'm communicating with, our group, the 421 is a no-brainer. Okay, it is an absolute no-brainer. We did not bring this upon us. The township brought it upon us. This was negligence, and we should not have to pay for that. And then we can move on. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. And you're wrong. I can't comment. Go ahead. Who's next, Michael?
If I'm wrong, I should have something to say here.
I can't with comments. Michael?
Resident J. DeMorrow.
Jay DeMorrow, 35 Massasoit Trail, Oakland. I just wanted to bring up a couple of things that we've researched. The $100,000 that we already paid out of surplus, that equates to about $425 per household for the 235, and that's just a down payment on things that are due. The average sewer utility annual cost in New Jersey is a little more than that. So that means that after we get to pay the exorbitant cost that our sewer utility is, we get to pay that on top of it, and we get to pay separately for the relining of the pipes that's been being talked about for 10 years in town. So the frustration level for us is incredible. It's sort of amazing that we've been paying these crazy prices for a sewer utility that's admittedly on its last leg and not working and not functioning, and that there's been a surplus of our money that now is being assigned to something that we have nothing to do with. So, if you want to understand why we're upset, that's a little bit of it.
Michael?
Last call for public comment. Mayor Rachel Gregory.
Hi again, Rachel Gregory, 2 Kiowa Terrace. I just want to also mention at the sewer meetings, the first time we talked about how there was documentation between NJDP and Oakland about the fact that when the roads were going to be open, that pipes were going to be laid for future sewer use when the project is expanded to include other homes. So we made some headway there. Mayor, you seemed surprised by all this. Some people seem surprised. So you're going to lay down pipes for future use. Second meeting, we talked about it again, thinking maybe that would sink in, maybe there'd be some compromise, maybe the town and other residents would contribute to this $5.7 million project, only to learn that no, maybe they'll pay for the actual PVC pipe that will cost like $1,000 or whatever it is towards 5.7 million. And that, from the sewer user perspective, is not what we call a compromise. That is not a compromise. That's not meeting halfway. That's not even meeting nearly halfway. That's a slap in the face. That you're not going to pay for any of the policing. There's so many other things that are going to have benefits for future residents and future sewer users. So again, you know, I just want to point this out, that from our perspective, these things were a slap in the face. And we tried to talk creatively about running a deficit until more users come onto the sewer system, which we understand is legal and permitted. And we were laughed at practically by the CFO that would never work. He would never do that. So again, you know, we were coming up with suggestions that we had researched. We talked to people. We knew this was something that could be done, and we were pretty much laughed at. So yes, for us, the meeting did not go well. And I'm surprised to hear, you know, from Councilman Talamini and Bialy that you saw things differently. So again, a public meeting with all the sewer users would probably be the better way to go going forward. We would love to continue conversation, but I don't think in private with 5 of us was the way to go. Thank you.
Michael?
Mayor, I see no one further.
Okay. Just as a comment, since Councilman John Bialy very graciously accepted the role of going back on water and sewer, I have all the questions and all the comments that were made from the people, the residents involved in the sewer service areas. I made a list. Councilman Bialy and I will sit down. We're going to draft answers to your questions and send it out to you. Thank you, Councilman Bialy, for taking over this job. And there was a lot of misrepresentation made by some of the members from, I'm not calling you representatives, I'm calling you residents in the sewer service area. So we are going to send out something, and I will run it by Councilman Talamini, who was at the last meeting, just to double check that I'm not going crazy. And I'm going with Councilman Bialy and I will sit down, since you're the only one on the sewer, water and sewer now, John, with Mr. Kunz, who was there, and with David Young, our CFO. We're going to sit down and draft an answer to all these questions that I wrote down from all the members who asked during the public comments. And I hope that we can move forward, as Councilman Bialy said. And with that, I will entertain a motion to close the public comment.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bills to be paid. I guess it's still you, Councilman Talamini. You're muted.
You're muted, Russ.
Sorry about that. Bills to be paid, $216,954.38. So moved.
Second.
Did everyone read the list before you vote? I'm taking your word that you read the list.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, I wish we didn't buy anything on Amazon.
Why?
Not a fan of Amazon right
Oh,
now.
I thought maybe something happened today.
No,
that
just what they did to suppress free speech in this country is appalling.
Well, all right, no more. That's it. No,
Sorry.
No. Okay. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Talamini.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Next, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next meeting will be right here on Zoom, January 27th. And thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
Good night.
Happy New Year.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.